Welcome to the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Saturday, September 21st. Today we will still have lingering showers and some thunderstorms over parts of Idaho into Wyoming, with drier and warmer conditions over the rest of the Great Basin and decreasing winds. Quiet conditions are expected on Sunday. We will have a slight increase in winds along the Sierra front on Sunday. However, relative humidity should remain slightly elevated above 15 or around 20%, so there will only be localized critical fire weather impacts on the west side of the basin. On Monday, we have another cold front moving into the region. We will see some breezy winds, but also some showers and thunderstorms over parts of western Idaho into northern and western Nevada on Monday. And then we will see some tropical moisture try to push north into far southern areas of the Great Basin, bringing some showers and thunderstorms to the Arizona Strip or far southern Utah. However, right now, the heavier precipitation looks like it will remain further south into Arizona or east into Colorado. Over the last 24 hours, we did see some thunderstorms up across northern Utah into northeast Nevada and Idaho and Wyoming. We also saw plenty of shower activity. Many areas saw wetting rains, with areas seeing above a quarter or a half inch in many locations over northeast Nevada up into Idaho. And some of these brighter yellows in northern Utah and eastern Idaho were rainfall amounts of around an inch or of above an inch. Over the last 24 hours, we saw light initial attack across the Great Basin with only a few small fires reported, but we do have some prescribed burning going on now over the northern third of the Great Basin. Over the last 2 weeks, we've seen precipitation target the northern half of the region, and these areas across Idaho, Wyoming, northern Nevada, and northern Utah have seen above normal precipitation for the time of year. However, further south, we've seen still very dry conditions over the last several weeks over southern Nevada, the Arizona Strip, and southern Utah. And it's in these areas of the southern areas of the Great Basin where fuels are still critical and ERCs are above the 70th to 80th percentile. Further north, ERCs have continued to come down and are well below normal for the time of year and below the 50th percentile. Looking at some of these areas over the northern half of the Great Basin, you can see in the top right image how ERCs have dropped well below normal, and this is pretty stratiform across the northern half of the region. In the far south, we still do have these record ERCs for parts of the Arizona Strip and southern Utah especially. Looking at the 10-hour fuel moisture, you can see where the fine fuels are most critical still over southern areas of the Great Basin that have remained on the drier side. Further north, however, we've seen a significant improvement in fine fuel moisture. Looking at our satellite image from this morning, you can see the trough of low pressure that's now pushed the cold front east of the region, so cool weather with still showery weather in the north will continue today. Otherwise, winds will be on the decrease as that cold front tracks further east. Looking at later this afternoon, again, you can see still some showers and thunderstorms in the far north, but drier conditions further south. We do still have some moderate fire potential over far southern areas that have remained dry. Otherwise, low fire potential is expected. Relative humidity will drop back down into the single digits to low teens in the far south and remain above 20 or 30% further north. Winds again today will be significantly reduced from what we saw over the last couple of days, with generally light winds region-wide. As we move into Sunday, we have another trough of low pressure and cold front approaching the Pacific Northwest. We will have fairly quiet conditions in the Great Basin on Sunday, with the exception of an increase in winds along the Sierra front out ahead of this system, but wind gusts should remain around 25 or up to 30 miles per hour, so we're not looking at anything extremely strong. We will have low fire potential in the north and continued moderate fire potential in the south. Again on Sunday, single-digit relative humidities will be common in the far south, with humidity above 20% further north. And again, you can see this increase in winds along the Sierra front on Sunday, but looking at where that matches up with the relative humidity, you can see relative humidity between about 15 and 20%. As we move into Monday, this cold front will track further east, and we will see showers and thunderstorms starting late Sunday night or early Monday over parts of western Idaho and western Nevada, and then spreading eastward over eastern Nevada as we move through the day on Monday. We also will have some moisture, the remnants of tropical storm or Hurricane Lorena from the south, which will try to push into southern areas of the Great Basin on Monday, but the heavier precip will remain further south into Arizona. But we will still see some wet weather and an increase in humidity for southern areas that drastically need it. So you can see the fire potential moderates a little bit on Monday in the far south. Relative humidity also will come up a little bit, still drop into the teens over many southern areas in eastern Utah, along with an increase in winds, but we will see some precipitation, so again, moderating fire behavior. The 3-day amounts of forecast precipitation, what we'll see today will be up into eastern Idaho and Wyoming, and then western Idaho into Nevada as the precipitation we'll see with that next front on Monday, and then also in the far south, that precipitation moving up from the south on Monday. But again, you can see the heavier precipitation the further south into Arizona. As we move through next week, we will continue to see that precipitation mainly hugging the southern borders, being located mainly in Arizona and New Mexico, and then over into Colorado. So we will see drier conditions move through the Great Basin on Tuesday with generally low to moderate fire potential. On Wednesday, we'll see another system start to drop south, but generally quiet weather for the Great Basin with low fire potential. Then as we move into Thursday, we see that system drop a little bit further south in the north, so we will see an increase in winds for northern areas, but it's these areas where fuels are not critical anymore and fuel moisture has significantly increased. As we move later in the week on Friday and that cold front drops further south, we will see, again, cooler weather, especially over the northern third of the Great Basin, and we will see a return of showers and thunderstorms and higher elevation snowfall on Friday, which will continue to push south through the weekend. Therefore, we will see significant fire potential decreasing in all areas as we move through later next week and next weekend. You can see the 7-day total amount of precipitation. We are going to pick up more precipitation as that next front moves in late next week, especially across the northern half of the Great Basin. Looking a little bit further ahead at the 8 to 14-day outlook from September 28th to October 4th, you can see much colder weather as these strong cold fronts drive further south along the west, and also an increase in precipitation with these fronts, so we are looking at cold temperatures and above normal precipitation for the start of October. That concludes our webcast for today. Check back tomorrow for the latest updates.